Alright everybody, hello. Let's get the microphone working. Alright, let's get some racing in, shall we? So, put ourselves in here. So it is night 2 of the Group 1 Hypercar series. So joining our friends at MPM for this one. We're going to be going to Trial Mountain and we're going to be going to Alsace tonight. Now, we do have a little bit of time before the race actually starts. So 10 p.m. is going to be the start of the race. So it'll be a 10-minute qualifying session, then it'll be a 30-minute timed run. We'll do that. Then we'll swap on over to the other race at Alsace. Do the 30 minutes over there, and depending on how things go, we might I might pivot to another game. I might play some Forza, I might play some Le Mans. We'll see how things go. But real quick though, I do need to step out. I just realized I gotta go get something. So 1 second, I'll be right back. Nearly fumbled and hurt myself. Okay, so let's do this. This is just a practice session, so we'll just get on track, get a little bit of prep, and then we'll go from there. Take it nice and easy for this out lap. So yeah, Trial Mountain has never been my strong suit course-wise. I've always favored other tracks more, but hey, why not give it a go, you know? I've been playing so much Forza Horizon lately. I recently got it because I got a bit of a deal on my Game Pass. So they offered like a special deal for me to renew my subscription, because I don't really play on my Xbox that much, you know. It's predominantly my PlayStation and my PC that gets the most use. So I'm just like, why bother with my Xbox? So I gave up my I ended my Game Pass subscription, but then they were just like, hey, come back, we'll give you like $10 off for your first 2-3 months back. I'm sure, like, okay, cool. And Forza Horizon 6 was on my radar for the longest time, but now I have an excuse to give it a go. I'm not that brave to take turn 1 flat out like that. Also, should be noted that I am doing this on medium tires. I just realized that, so... Whoop. Okay, I gotta hit the brakes on that. I thought I could use the downforce to maybe get through with no problems, but not the case. Do we still have heavy damage on for this? Let me double check. Yeah, I think damage is still set to heavy. If so, then I'm gonna go in the pits and redo it. .43, 143.5. All right. Oops. Let's go back to the pits. Let's try this again. Now, what's good for this race, and something that I hope we can do for more MPM races later on, we have a split, a driver split. So drivers A and above get sent to their own lobby, while drivers B and below get this lobby. So I'll be in the amateur lobby, so to speak. So this race is going to be a lot more competitive for me. You know, if you guys remember from last Wednesday, we did Kyoto Driving Park. I ended up P4. So, whoops. We ended P4, so that was like probably my highest ever result in an MPM lobby. You know, I normally finish middle of the pack, lower middle, so that was a decent surprise for me, so hey, why not? But yeah, depending on how things go, I might pivot to another racing game. So the problem is, I don't know if, you see, I've been trying so hard to see if Forza can run properly on my PC. It can, well, I should say it can stream properly, you know, because Horizon 6 can run on my PC no problem. The problem is that I tried to do a test run last night, and when I tried to post up my footage, actually, hold on, we're gonna abort this lap. Max said the race room is up. So let's make sure we get into the lobby. Alright, DRB or lower. Awesome. Alright, cool. Yeah. Alright, now just to double check, I am not the only Porsche taking part. Beta is also taking part as well. Put the brake balance to the rear. Now, I've had enough practice early on in the night with the softs, but I want to get some practice in with medium tires, because this is probably going to be my preferred compound for this race. you know? But I see, all right, decent amount of viewers to start. 6 viewers. Good start to the night, you know. Turned a little too hard too early. Oh shoot, I hit the wall before going in. Oh, that messed up my line so bad. But yeah, definitely I want to try to get some more racing streams in before the week ends. So if I can somehow finagle Forza to work on my streaming app, on my OBS, then I'll definitely start streaming that. But in the meantime though, if I can't get it to work properly, then I'm afraid I'll have to go without, you know? It runs on my PC fine, but it then chugs super slow when I put my OBS on. This is a case of me needing some more RAM. But you know how RAM prices are absolutely killer nowadays, so it's just been out of my mind. That's also kind of why I was withholding my judgment on getting Horizon 6. Part of me wanted to get it when the exclusivity runs out and it would release on PS5. I probably would have done that. The reason why is because I want to use my wheel for it, you know? And my wheel works on PC, works on PlayStation, but it doesn't work on Xbox. And I actually tried buying a converting module for it, but it doesn't work. So I was just like, dang, I can't use this to play Forza on Xbox anymore. So yeah, that's why I've just been hoping and praying it comes out on console, well, PlayStation 5. World 42.3, that is definitely not going to be the fastest time. For one, I am slow. 2, I'm on medium compound, so some of the soft runners are going to beat that time, no problem. Gotta be gentle on the throttle, not being gentle at all. Also, keeping an eye on my work employees. Well, my co-workers, I should say, not my employees. Wow. Because they should be coming back to the office. Oh no. Oh no. They should be coming back to the office around this time frame. If they wanted to extra mile, they can, but I'm expecting them back around this time. I don't anticipate us using the hard tires for this race. So I don't think we should be worrying about that. Okay, there we go. Fix that damage. So it's about 9:45 local time, so about 15 minutes we should be thinking about getting the lobby ready for qualifying. So we should be good on that. Also, I think the game is louder than me. Hold on a sec. I'll have to do it a little bit later, but... Let's see if I can do this now. Here we are. Just gotta learn to... Just gotta keep that in a straight line and we'll be okay. Alright, naturally I got bumped off the top spot. Alright, let's see what we can conjure up here. Let's see. 139.8 is current best time so far. Bungled that line going in, but most importantly, no damage. Honestly, this may be a case of I suck at Trial Mountain, but do really, really well at all sites. I also think that that's going to be the thing for me tonight. .8. Track limit. That sucks. Oh, wow. I had like a snap of oversteer. I don't know if I lost... I don't know what happened there. Did I lose the... Did I lose traction, or... I don't know. Right, let's switch back to soft tires. Oh, wait. Put the brake balance to the rear. I also want to wait till there's a little gap. Alright, there we go. Because I want to make sure that the guy that was on the main straight, I wanted to make sure that he was in front. somebody coming up. I'm gonna take the. I'm gonna let him go in front so that way, if he's on a hot lap, I'm not in the way. Alright. We're about 10 minutes away till the supposed start of qualifying. So I reckon we could probably get about four laps in. Might be having some connection issues, which is totally not going to be a problem. There you go. Oh shoot! I forgot about that curb. Track limits. I'm gonna abandon this lap. Because I'm gonna get bogged down because, wait. Isn't this a penalty zone? Wait, where is the penalty zone? I thought it was here. Or is it on the main straight? Oh, it's on the main straight. That's where it is. Because in Gran Turismo Sport, the penalty line was on that back straight over there. 144.7, but that's because of the penalty and me aborting. Yeah, I just gotta make sure that I keep only 2 wheels on that curb. Cut a little bit, but not the entire car. Alright, let's see how this goes. 142 was my personal best so far. Though that was on the mediums. So let's see what pace I can get with the soft. Let's see what this translates into. 141.5. slightly behind. Alright, there's no timing line here. Right, slight increase. I kind of hesitated on the corner exit. Let's see how that translates. Slight improvement, 141.4, but... Uh-oh. This one's already a wash. I got damage. Okay. Now I'm also thinking about the tire wear situation. Tires are looking okay so far, and I'm already on lap 5 of the stint. If I were to hazard a guess, I think maybe 7 laps, 7 or 8 laps might be the sweet spot that I'm looking for. So we're looking at probably 16, maybe 17 laps. So maybe do like 9 laps, 9 or 10 laps on the mediums. Then we'll swap off to the softs, and we'll go from there. All right. When I get a chance, though, I gotta check the FIFA World Cup scores. Oh shoot, we got damage. Might as well back out now. But real quick, let me just see what the score line is across the 2 Group A games. Let's see here. Because we got neither team is okay. It's halftime for both. Korea, South Korea, South Africa 0-0. Czechia, Mexico also 0-0. But both teams are playing south of the border, so. But neither team has had a breakthrough. So as it stands, it looks like Mexico and South Korea still move on as number 1 and 2. But it's just a case of seeding. But Mexico is guaranteed to be first place in that group, so. Actually, hold on a minute. When would be the U.S.'s first knockout match? All right, so we got round of 32. It'd be Wednesday. All right, cool. So round of 31, round of 32 US prime time, 8 p.m. All right. I don't know why eyes are heavy. I'm drinking like a pretty heavy coffee too. Like I got a French roast going, but still yawning a lot. So, all right, but 8 viewers. I'm very happy for everybody that showed up. Oopsie. On the spot, somebody's asking to get buzzed into the building, so let me just get these doorbells open for them. It's already 10 p.m., so we should be getting ready to go into this race. Alright, that hasn't quite worked out for them. I still gotta get in. Let me get the second door going. They should be inside now. So no excuses, guys. Alright. Alright. Let's see here. I don't want to risk trying to do some daily races on Gran Turismo after this, because I'm so close to B rank, and I kind of want to save that opportunity to rank up for Saturday, because we're gonna do Red Bull Ring on Saturday, you know, for Nations Cup, and I'm historically pretty strong in that course, so that's why I want to save the push for B rank until Saturday. Now, MPM races, these lobbies that we're taking part in, these don't affect my driver rating or my sportsmanship rating in any way, so I'm okay. I can crash. I can finish like at the very back and not get any repercussions, so that's why. Alright, so it's 10:02. Actually, how close are we to an ad break? We're only like 35 minutes in. 25 minutes until the possible ad break, so I gotta take that into account. We should be fine. What I was gonna do is I'm gonna have a break in the action after qualifying. So, but I'm gonna take this opportunity to get some more practice in. I need to go back to the gym on Friday. Speaking of Friday, though, I don't know what I'm gonna do for Friday's stream. We don't have any. Actually, wait. Do I have an MPM race this Friday? Actually, wait a sec. Let me just check our schedule here. Okay, never mind. The Discord isn't showing it. Let me just hop onto the official Bbid site. Let's see. What are my events? So we got Hypercars going on right now. July 17 is going to be our next wet race. Wait. Austrian Grand Prix is on August? It's so weird. Why is it in August? Anyway, alright. Because normally, because for the early part of our season, when we're doing MPM Formula 1, we usually line up the races to be close to their real-world counterpart. So, this weekend is the Austrian Grand Prix, and I'm just like, wait, why are we running that race in August as opposed to this weekend? So, okay. Anyway, so yeah, no MPM Racing on Friday night, but we'll probably come up with something. We'll probably play some Le Mans. Alright, so I got that taken care of, so let's get back into the racetrack. My foot is itching a little bit. Oh, you know what's one alternate we could do for, if we don't... Ah, Walkie, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. You know what's one thing we could do instead of dailies? If Le Mans doesn't work out, one thing I've been neglecting to do is I haven't been playing F1. I've been doing a My Team playthrough. We're still only on round 2. We're still in Shanghai. We might as well do that if time allows for it. I've been seeing a lot of spin outs on the mini map on the top right, and if people like keep overshooting it, if people could keep overstepping their boundaries, this could be one of those races where I just get a good result because I don't crash compared to everyone else. That's been the theme for a lot of my Formula 1 races recently. At least with the MPM series, right? There have been times where I'm just a complete utter back marker, and then all of a sudden I'm in P6. You know, just for not quitting. Oh no. 142.3. I was just goofing about for that one. Hey there, looks like a good pump. Oh, yeah, thanks. Thanks for dropping by, Dingo. Long time no see. Yeah, we're getting some good use out of the hypers tonight, you know? So, of course, Daily Race C is at Le Mans, but I thought, you know what? Le Mans is nice and dandy, but we just did a lot of Circuit de la Sarthe last week because of the real life festivities. How would you say this compares to LMU? 10 times more forgiving than LMU. You know, you definitely have to learn and respect the hypercars over there. Am I driving automatic or manual? I am driving manual, Walkie. My wheel is... I'm using paddle shifters on my wheel. Oh, that could be truck limits. This might be a no-go already. What are we looking at? Alright. Stewart's aim okay. But yeah, the like for example, you know, anti-lock, there is anti-lock on these versions of the hypercars. So it's not in LMU, for example. So you could be a lot more aggressive on the brakes. So, but just like when you're driving a hypercar in LMU, you still got to be careful with your throttle inputs. You know, don't smash the loud pedal too quickly. Otherwise, you're gonna get excess wheel spin and you'll just spin out. Oh, I messed that one up. Shoot. I figured throttle, but wasn't thinking brakes. Yeah. When you're playing, if you're playing LMU, the only cars that have anti-lock and traction control are just the GT3s, but to some extent, the LMPs and the Hypers, they do have traction control, but they don't have anti-lock. And I find myself struggling in those classes in LMU because I'm so used to going harder on the brakes, you know, in other racing games. So when I overdo it over there, I'm just like, oh shoot, I end up spinning. So I notoriously suck at LMP2s for that reason. But I'm actually super excited to see what Le Mans Ultimate does next, content-wise. I was kind of disappointed with their Le Mans update, because all they really did was just update some of the tracks. You know, just the awnings, the billboards, the branding. They did do a shadow drop for the Genesis. The Genesis Hypercar, that was a shadow drop. But usually, Le Mans season is when the developers for that game given like some big updates. So, but beggars can't be choosers. I mean, they are hard at work in doing the single player content for that game. I'm curious to see how they handle the single player career. And I think they're also hard at work with the console version of Le Mans Ultimate. So that's going to be interesting to see. Also, if for the console, when they make the console version of Le Mans, I'm curious to see what gets included in that game. You know, I'm curious to see what people will get in the box on the disc compared to people who've had the game for like 3-4 years at this point on PC. I'm pretty sure they're gonna just pack in all the free content that was added. You know, just make that included in the base game, but I wonder what they're gonna do. But if anybody here has LMU on PC, would you consider getting it on console if it comes out? Would you be willing to double dip? Personally, I would, but I don't know if people would feel the same way. Because I did, I double dipped for, actually no, I actually triple dipped for Assetto Corsa when ACC, because I got ACC for PC initially. Then I did, then I got it on sale when it came to PS4. Kind of regretted it because I did not like how PS4 Assetto Corsa ran. But then, not too long ago, I got a PS5 copy of Assetto Corsa with all the DLC. And I'm just like, you know what? Let me play this a little bit more. But yeah, we're in a pretty good age of sim racers. Or just racing games in general, you know? I feel like we're doing a lot of fun with Gran Turismo and Le Mans and iRacing and all that. But getting a game like Forza Horizon as well as a palate cleanser means more than you know. So, alright, so we got qualifying going. Let me just see here. I'm gonna put the brake balance to the rear. Also, I'm gonna hit some snooze buttons so that way I don't have to... That way you guys are not hit with any ads during this session. What I'm gonna do is once the qualifying session is over, I'm gonna do a 3-minute break. So all the ads will be playing right there, so that way throughout the race, no interruptions. Okay? Sound fair? I'd rather do that than, you know, I'd rather have the ads play in a part where we're not doing anything. Because unfortunately, I got caught out last week where I didn't realize that there was, we went straight into the race for the next one, and it didn't account for it. And some people couldn't actually watch some parts of the race, of the second race of the night, because of those ads. So I want to be a little bit smart with it. God. Oh no. My foot, like the heel, my heel is super itchy right now. We are in late June. Mosquitoes, they're coming. We're also coming off of two days of rain. You know, I don't know if anybody's been watching the football lately for the World Cup, but on Monday, we had a lot of weather delays in our region. You know? Bro, I don't know what you were doing coming out of the pits like that. This just made my qualifying a little awkward. I don't know if he tried to do that to get some slipstream, but uh-oh. Well, this is going to be a compromised lap then. Well, we'll figure out a way to deal with this. We've recovered well, but this half second is going to really cause a problem. Dang. 141.6. Really goes to show what kind of pace I could have had here. A lot of traffic. You gotta spin. I had to hang on for dear life with that one. Ugh. I don't think this one is going to be an improvement on a 141.6. Alright, let's see what we're looking at here. $140.9. Okay. A little bit better. Oh, wide. Now we got traffic. Not ideal. I was very loose with my with the rear end. That for that left-hander definitely affected my exit. No improvement here. Somebody slow up ahead. Alright, we're looking at an improvement over here. Three-tenths better. A little touch of the barrier messed me up. 149.9. Shoot, I lost like hundredths of a second. Not even hundreds, I think thousands of a second I've been behind by. Wait, South Africa's leading. They're 1-0 up on Korea. Oh, shoot. Real quick, what does that do for... What's the live table looking like for Group A? Yeah. Because they needed a win. Oh, shoot. That caught me so off guard that I lost my big pace advantage. Oh, no. So that would mean South Korea would be on third place. I'm assuming Czechia and Mexico are still 0-0. Alright. Let's bring it home. 141.3. Alright, yeah, let's have a look at this. Look at the live table. Looking like. Oh, let's get the door open for an upset. This World Cup has been it's been something. All right, so live table. Yeah, live table has Korea on third place, on 3 points, -1 goal difference. South Africa would be the second place team with -1, but of course, head to head. Head-to-head is now the tiebreaker rather than goal difference. This could be quite the redemption arc. Yeah, yeah. Because think about, because for all their bluster, South Africa, I think they only got 1 point. They only got 1 point back in 2010, didn't they? So. Okay, so anyway, 2 more drivers behind me that are still running. Yeah. A lot of people had South Africa as the number 4 team in this group. So I honestly kind of saw them as, yeah. But also, Sun's not available. Sun's not available for Korea. They're kind of regretting their missed chances early in the first half. Because I saw the before I went live, I was watching the first 20 minutes of that game. So they did have some good chances too. Yeah. I saw Lee. Oh, but the first shot attempt by Lee Kang-in. On like 3-4 minutes, so it was really good. Yeah, I know for most like most Asian commentators were saying that outside of Kim Min Jae, Korea's defense was a little bit suspect, but yeah. All right, guys. So I'd love to talk a little bit more, but I want to make sure that we don't get any ads during the race. So I'm gonna run a 3-minute ad break. You guys are not gonna miss anything. We usually do like a 5-minute prep before an MPM race, so it's gonna line up no problem. All right, so I'll be back in 3 minutes, and then we'll get ready for our first race of the night. Okay, so back in 3. Alright everybody, I'm back. Alrighty, so let's get going. We're on about a 2-minute warning before the race starts. But yeah, just to catch up on our earlier conversation with regards to the matches going on right now. Yeah. South Africa looks like they've been getting some good chances. So it's good to see that they got some life in them. But also, just to keep you guys abreast of the other game in that group, the hosts, Mexico, they're 2-0 up on Czechia at the moment. So that's pretty simple and straightforward for them. So, all right, let's see here. Excuse me. All right, so I'm gonna start this race on the medium tires. Then I'm gonna pivot into the softs. So this is gonna be a 30-minute race. We've been averaging around 138s, 138s, 139s, 140s. So I'm gonna hazard a guess. We're probably gonna be around like 16 to 17 laps. All right. Either teams I think Canada would be very happy to face in terms of like a Czechia or Korea. Because I know the way that the bracket is set up for the round of 32, based on the earlier games of the day, South Africa or Korea would probably face Canada. Yeah. The way that Jesse Marsh has that team set up at the moment, yeah, people gotta understand that Czechia limped into this World Cup. You know, they had to win both their, they had to make it into the World Cup based on two straight, I think, it was two straight penalty shootouts. Because I know Bosnia also needed a penalty shootout, at least one. I don't think their game before facing Italy ended in a shootout. But yeah, outside of their start, their start against Czechia was kind of a false dawn. All right. So let me see here. But yeah, based on the results from earlier today, the general consensus is that US is going to face Bosnia in the round of 32. So that's winnable for us. I can tell you that. But I'm not going to take it for granted. Be right back after the match ends. Sure, no problem. Keep us abreast for any updates. All right, I'm just waiting for Max to get us started with this for this first run. So once we're good, we'll be on. So just a reminder for how the race is going to be. 30 minutes. It's a grid start. All right, so we're going to do a grid start. There is a tire change necessary. So even though we're starting on the mediums, we can't end on the mediums. We have to do a compound change. So we got heavy damage as well. So I don't care about the getting being super quick. I just need a safe race. That's all I need. All right. I should probably update my links on Stream Elements. I think some of my socials could use a little bit of a refresh, especially the Discord. I've been meaning to update my Discord too. I need to get rid of some stuff and retool it. All right, we're getting readies in the chat now. Alright, lovely. Off we go. Nice and easy into turn one. Alright, I don't know if that was lag or whatnot, but we're pretty safe now. We're P5. Alright, so I'm being hunted down right now. So we got a 2-second gap to the guys behind. Oh shoot. Oh no, I got damage. Oh no. Let's see how this goes. Oh, shoot. This is not how I wanted to start this race. Ugh. Thank you for the follow, Hemsworth. Much appreciated. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Oh, I got distracted by that chat. I do not need help with growing my stream. You can start off with that. No stream enlargement pills. Thank you. We do things the good old-fashioned way. Was that track limits? I had all 4 wheels off. Alright, I'm doing what I can to keep pace. Keep in mind, I have damage. But also it means later in the race I will be faster. It's just, can my gap last until then? So we're looking at almost 4 seconds behind. I have enough fuel for a good first stint. For what it's worth, I'm pulling away from the Czech driver behind. And I'm weathering this damage pretty well. 23 minutes to go. Alright. It wouldn't make much sense to pit now. So I'm just gonna have to get on with it. With the damage. So right now my objective is to just pull away from the guy behind. Uh-oh. There's gonna be some unnecessary wheel spin that'll come out because of this damage. We gotta make sure of that. I don't know what those guys are doing back there, but they're just keeping themselves away from me. I don't mind. We're almost 4.5, so this is pretty good so far. Well, just gotta take it easy. I don't want to get more damage than I really need to. Still getting time. I'm 4.5. Keep it out of the grass. That was a mistake. Even though I am gaining time on the straight a little bit, but could have been better. Shoot. The wall again. Alright, that's lost me some time, unfortunately. Now I'm 3.7 ahead. But we do have some people going into the pits to get rid of their soft tires, so let's see how this plays out. So from the looks of it, some people are getting off of their soft tires at around 10 minutes in. So that's something that I could look at. So maybe when there's like 10 to 12 minutes left, then we'll go into the pits. Alright, C-Sitch is hunting me down super fierce. He might be on quicker tires though. So that Czech driver was like the cork in the bottle, like defending for his life. Alright, so about 7 laps. So I reckon I got about 2 laps more before I can consider going into the pits. So I'll stay out for about, 2 more laps. And then I'll do my mandatory stop. I will need to refuel as well. Let's see how this goes. 141.6 personal best for the race so far. Yeah, that was a mistake on my end, but alright, no problem. I think I could do one more lap. One more lap. Oh, he had a little bit of a twitch. All right, we're gonna box this lap. Oh, there's 2 people up ahead. Oh, there's a back marker. Wait, is he ghosted? No. I'm gonna have to pass on merit. Alright, they're okay. Oh shoot. Nuked is right behind us. Alright, some medium runners are starting to feel the same way. Boxing now. Carlos is on the hearts. Okay. Alright, so we're looking at about 12 minutes left, so I'm gonna refuel to 7 laps and then we'll go. Cool. Let's go. Where am I coming out? Alright, I actually got Max right behind me. Alright, so let's see here. We got Crashman up ahead. 4.2. Now, the thing is, did Max do his mandatory stop? Yoni, what we got here? Give me an update. Crashman has gone in. Did they concede again? Or it's just their standard of play really, really bad? Oh, they lost. It's full time? Did it stay 1-0? Ugh. Okay. Yeah, I'm curious to see what they do for the, let's see what happens for the third place matchups. But a negative goal difference is not going to do them any wonders. Granted, they're in a better place compared to Scotland, you know? Scotland's like -3. Yeah. Shoot. I know, people were expecting a little bit better. Because you gotta understand, Son hasn't been scoring much here in MLS. He hasn't scored a league goal this season. He's got a couple of assists, and he's gotten a couple of and he scored in cup competitions. In our equivalent to the Champions League. But yeah, wow. Really puts things into perspective, eh? I'm just curious to see how tomorrow's matches are gonna go. Did I overdo it with track limits? Alright, they say I'm okay. Because I think we got Germany's group tomorrow, and we got the US's group tomorrow. Germany's group, and there's one more. I think. Who else's group? Yeah, the minnows have been doing pretty well. Like Ivory Coast nearly upset Germany. Obviously, we're all ranting and raving about Cabo Verde. Yeah, some of their players are starting to do well. Like their center back Mbokazi, he plays here in America. He plays for Chicago, and he was just named as like an all-star for the league. Oh yeah. Tunisia, I don't know about them. And I like to point that out because a member of my my business's HR department, like one of our admins, she's Tunisian, so she was just the amount of disappointment I can hear from her. It was like, yeah. Especially when they lost 4-0 to Japan. Morocco qualified, South Africa qualified so far. And it's good. It's great for South Africa because I think they got knocked out in the group stage in 2010 when they hosted. I think one win. Oh, sorry, no. Yeah, did they? Yeah, Ivory Coast definitely. Congo, I think, is going to be one of those third place teams. I don't have any questions about their back line. Ghana, sheesh, Ghana could have won yesterday. Some could argue should have, you know. Oh yeah, for Congo, that is definitely a winnable match. When you think about the quality that Congo have, I see that as winnable for them. Ivory Coast played Curaçao. Yeah, Curaçao, they're gonna play their hearts out, but I think Ivorian experience and quality will win out that one. Cape Verde are playing against Saudi. Honestly, with the way Cape Verde is playing, that is a possible upset right there. I think that could be winnable. Cape Verde versus Saudi. I think they can win that. Ghana, Croatia. Yeah, that's tricky. We'll see how that one goes. Because Croatia, they're an aging squad. See, now that I think about it, because we're all saying that the African teams are overachieving on paper. I think it would be fair to say that the Asian sides are not really doing so well, you know? Like Uzbekistan, Jordan, you know? Yeah. Also, do bear in mind, Ghana have a positive goal difference because of their win, right? They're +1. So, that's definitely going to work in their favor. Because even if they, you know, even if they don't win, you know, as long as if they draw, a +1 goal difference will put them in the driver's seat for one of the top third place teams. Yeah. A draw will almost certainly keep them in the hunt for a third place spot. A draw will make them second. Okay, so that's even. So that's moot. So they can afford a close loss in that regard. Yeah, because I don't. Honestly, I don't expect. I'm not expecting a team like Croatia to just suddenly be raining goals in. You know? Don't get me wrong, we're not downing the quality of a Luka Modric or a Perisic, but speaking as somebody who's familiar with their leading line, their forward line, players like Peter Musa and Pasalic for Croatia, they're okay, but they're not like heavy scorers. You know, both of those guys play domestically here. Musa playing for Dallas, Pasalic playing for Orlando. Orlando's been like heavy underachieving this year. But yeah, I don't know if Croatia has the goals. What we got here? Yeah, Morocco's already qualified. Egypt's on 4. Yeah, Belgium is. If we were saying that Korea's on fraud watch, Belgium is probably bigger. So, I would hazard a guess that, you know, being nicknamed as the Red Devils is a debuff in this tournament. You know, nearly getting upset because they nearly got upset by Iran. Oh yeah, see, my friend, I have a friend who's from Turkey, and his mindset is that Turkey is either feast or famine. Jokingly enough, you know, they're either an underrated team that does well, or a dark horse that flops. No in between. You know, because I remember, what was it, Euro 2020, where they were considered like the team to fear. Alright, I just realized I am low on fuel. But yeah, Belgium is probably like the big disappointment, I would say. You know. Now, obviously there are some nuances to it. You know, they lost Jeremy Doku, but for a good reason. You know, Jeremy Doku, his son, he's having his first child, and I remember like, I forgot. I think it was like French media that was criticizing him for that. You know, going, leaving the camp to be with his wife. It was, yeah, initially, but then going forward, it was for him to, he also had to go back to witness his first son, or first child. So, yeah, Oh shoot, I went up. I'm P7. Yeah, it just lined up everywhere. It just lined up all the way. So, all right, we got a Raiders Ender with party of 3. Hello. How's everybody doing? Ender, what will we be playing tonight? We're just waiting on everybody else to hit the checkered. You have one guy that's still running. Oh, come on. But Ender, hope your stream went fine. Okay, nice. Playing more Kazan. Alright, we went from P8 to P7 for this one. Fortunately, that damage that we got early in the race kind of hampered our progress, but we were able to recover well. Alright. But I had to fuel save like crazy for that last lap, so I got caught out by the fuel. Alright. But yeah, if anybody's coming in from Ender's stream that does not know who I am, I'm Jet. I'm a variety streamer. My specialty is racing games. So we're playing some Gran Turismo 7. We're doing some lobby races with my friends at MPM Racing. We're playing with the brand new Hypercars that just got added to the game a few weeks ago. So we've been driving the Porsche 963. And in just a few short minutes, though, we are going to be swapping racetracks. So we're going to be doing 2 races for the night. So Trial Mountain was race number 1, but pretty soon we're going to be moving over to the village of Alsace in France. So that'll be our second race of the night. But yeah, let me just mess with the car settings. Okay. Also, I just want to make sure that we are good to go before any ad breaks. We do have 30 minutes to go until the next scheduled ad break, but do bear in mind that we're probably not going to have any qualifying for the second race. So what I am going to do, just to make sure that there's no interruptions for the actual race itself, is I am going to run a 3-minute ad break, okay? So ads for 3 minutes, you guys are not going to miss anything. So that way we're going to go through the entire 30-minute race uninterrupted, okay? So bear with me. I'll be back in a few. Alright everybody, I am back. Alright, no more ad breaks. Don't worry about it. I've done enough so that way we are going to go through the rest of this night uninterrupted. Okay? Now, welcome to Alsace. We are in another one of the fictional circuits made by Gran Turismo. Now this circuit is typically reserved for, you know, slower cars, road cars, but yeah, we're using this track for the hypers. Now I tend to be a little bit more competitive in this on this circuit, but we'll see how this goes. Also, one thing to note is we have a different group. There are some people that have swapped in, some people that have swapped out for this race, so... I forgot, you gotta hit the brakes hard for this one. This is the hard braking zone in these cars. You can't lift. You can't lift and downshift for that one. We got 10 minutes. 10 minutes of practice? Okay. Alright, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, this World Cup has been full of surprises. I honestly think that depending on how the allocation goes, I could see Africa getting a spot or two, and I could see Asia maybe losing a spot or two, especially given the amount of results that have gone against them. Because when you think about some of the African countries that did not qualify, you know, Nigeria, obviously the big one, Cameroon. Let me see here. Maybe not. No, Uganda is not really that big a. Not really that big a force on the male side. No, Zambia. Zambia is they're more of a women's powerhouse than a men's powerhouse. But Zambia could also be one that might have missed out. But yeah, I could see Asia maybe losing a spot or two. Because when you think about it, with this expanded the expanded field, there's still some good countries that miss out. Like, sheesh. I wonder if, because maybe like a Vietnam or a Thailand might have been able to qualify, but to be honest, the expanded field for the World Cup, that pretty much favors more so the West Asian teams, like the Middle East and the Persian countries, rather than, you know, East Asia. So an expanded field really doesn't really benefit like a Vietnam, a Thailand, a Singapore, a Philippines, you know, probably not a China or India. Oh shoot, whoa. Somebody was cutting a little bit. Alright. Oh, everybody's just parking it. Yeah, but see, I'm a little bit worried about how they're gonna handle that, because in their infinite wisdom, FIFA's already considering expanding again for 2030. Because remember, because the next World Cup is gonna be the Centennial, you know? And I believe it's gonna be Spain, Portugal, Morocco that's hosting. You know, that Iberian region. But they're already thinking about... Yeah, they've been wanting to do it, because obviously, you know. But you know, if they had the chance, they would. And Italy still would not qualify. 2038, yeah. And 2038, I think that's the Saudi, that's gonna be the Saudi World Cup, isn't it? Or am I thinking a little bit too far? Oh, it's 2034. Did we, they didn't vote on, they haven't voted on 2038, have they? Is that meant to be, like, later this year or something? Ah, shoot. I went wide. I went long. Okay. Because if I remember correctly, they, I remember they were doing the bid for... They were doing the bid for Russia and Qatar. They announced that bid just after the South African World Cup. And then I think around Russia... I think around Russia is when they announced the US World Cup. So... Yeah, I think they have the I think they announced it in 8-year cycles, so it's possible they could announce it this year. But 64 teams has some serious veto power against it. Yeah, I mean, obviously the smaller nations are not gonna have a problem with that, right? But you're probably gonna be getting a major pushback from, I would say, UEFA, most likely. I honestly think that UEFA would be the one that would give the biggest pushback. I could see CONCACAF, CONMEBOL, the other confederations. I think they would be fine with a 64 nation field. Yeah, absolutely, it would be them. Right. And shoot, I remember there was a press conference that got a lot of backlash from people. I think it was Italy. I think it was Gattuso that said it. Right? They were like, "Why are we giving so many spots to these continents?" You know. And yeah, that got a lot of blowback, and it just... Yeah, because Because also think about it from a perspective of, because if you expand again, it's gonna be a diminishing returns. Oh yeah, of course. Gattuso's always been a friendly, loving, diplomatic individual. I say half-heartedly. Uh-huh. Right. And you gotta understand, like, some of the, and also, but then also, I would say that CONMEBOL might not have anything to gain from this, because there aren't that many countries in CONMEBOL that haven't qualified, you know? So, like, Bolivia... Well, actually, no. I lied. CONMEBOL would be able to benefit from it. Because we're missing the likes of Chile, Peru, Bolivia. Venezuela still hasn't qualified for a World Cup. You know? Of course, them being the outliers because they're a baseball country. I'm a spin. Yeah. Now, I don't know. There are some rumblings. Whether or not they have like any real weight is anyone's guess. There were murmurings of the AFC possibly splitting into two. You know, because West Asia and East Asia, like for Asian qualifying, right? The first few rounds are separated into two conferences, you know, West and East. So the Gulf states, the Middle East, they typically occupy West Asia, where East Asia is like your traditional Far East countries plus Australia, right? Now, in recent times, there's been so much more kowtowing to the Western Asian countries to the point where, you know, it really doesn't benefit like the likes of Japan, Korea, Australia. They aren't really getting as much support. Yeah, because remember, just every competing nation in the World Cup gets a solidarity payment. You know, regardless of their finishing position, they're obviously going to get prize money, which is tied to their finishing position, but they also get a solidarity payment in addition to it. So yeah, it's going to make it much more. There's going to be an incentive from those smaller nations, whether or not they actually have any realistic footballing prowess. You know. Exactly, right? I mean, I still remember when there was a lot of people giving pushback about this 48 country field, but the general consensus is that it's actually been pretty good, you know? So it's like I have an open mind before going, you know, going on with it, but there kind of needs to be a limit, you know. Let the 48 club format breathe first. Yeah, because I remember there was a lot of pushback initially when the Champions League swapped to the Swiss model, you know. But hey, the general consensus is that the change for the Champions League has been better. But yeah, I would say let's not be hasty for any changes at this point. Oh, I just realized my my laptops have been pretty good so far with this track. I'm P6, and I'm P6 with the mediums. But I know but I'm also but with regards to expansion, I'm also very excited for the Women's World Cup next year, because even though that's not being held here, I think it's being held in France. I think next year's Women's World Cup is France. No. Either France or Brazil. But I'm excited for that expanded World Cup, because while the men have gone up to 48, the women have gone up to 32. So, you know, more countries have just gotten the rub of the green in that sense. Oh, yeah. I'm also wondering to see how the how ticketing is going to work for that, you know. But also, if they another thing is, I don't know what type of bid, what type of countries, which country's bid would actually make sense for a 64. Yeah. I think nation expansion should stay as it is for now. So we'll keep it at 48, you know. D, E, and F, yes. So that is shoot. So that's Germany's group, that's the US's group, and Netherlands' group. Right? Hold on, let me double check. I'll double check that. Oops, sorry, that is the wrong app. Oh, it was 3-0 for Mexico, Czechia. Yeah, so tomorrow, so our early time slot, 4 p.m. local. We got Ecuador versus Germany, Curaçao, Cote d'Ivoire, or Ivory Coast. 7 o'clock, we got Tunisia, Netherlands, and Japan and Sweden. And then the late cap, Paraguay, Australia, and Turkey, US. Yeah, I know. We've been because like the early matches of Pochettino's tenure, they've been very, very shaky, because it's like a case of we've been experimenting so much, trying to find the right formation, trying to find the right personnel. And there were a lot of questions about our roster, the one that he called up. When you think about some of the people that we left out, you know. But yeah, he's finally found it. He's finally found it. I'm glad that we're starting to be considered a dark horse, you know. I still maintain that we're going to be knocked out in the round of 16 or the quarters, but I think we could still do something here. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? I lovingly joked, and I say this with love. I still remember how like people struggling to beat the low block. Yeah, because we're so used to it, right? So we when people get like hit with the when people get hit with the low block in our federation, we jokingly call it getting CONCACAF'd, you know? So the fact that US has dealt with that a lot against teams like Panama, Costa Rica, Jamaica, you know. So those are teams that notoriously play with low blocks as well. Well, maybe not so much Jamaica, but definitely like Costa Rica, who didn't qualify. Yeah, the fact that we were able to like we're kind of used to it, so it means like high press. Also, we kind of have like a pseudo back five, you know. That first game against Paraguay, when I saw Serginho Dest as a winger, I'm like, wait, what? But credit to Pochettino, it worked. And the fact that we have two own goals is pretty cool. All right, there was some shenanigans back there. Also realized I'm on. Oh! A lot of dirty air. People are just outbreaking themselves, not going a little bit too crazy there. I'm just trying to survive here. Oi! Pushed off to the side a little bit. Alright, here we go. Heavy braking zone time. I see somebody in the wall, so that's a freebie. Oh, resafe jointly. Oh, watch that. Alright, I'm just trying to keep things nice and tidy. So P9. Yeah, I honestly think that's gonna be like the real genuine test. They're not really a giant, but we actually did really, really well in the lead up to the World Cup playing against Senegal. And we kind of got hit. Oh, we kind of got hit with like a lapse of concentration when we faced Germany, but we were able to hold our own for the most part. You know, we only lost 2-1 against them. Granted, it was like a moment of brilliance thing. Bro, how do you keep hitting me? Stop using me. Now here's the problem, right? We got a lot of new drivers that have just walked in, so we can't really vouch for their driving quality. All right. Yeah. Don't worry. We got Curacao. We'll get Curacao playing next year. We got the Gold Cup coming up pretty soon. Our equivalent to the Euros. Now Curacao typically compete in that. Yeah, Ecuador has been very, very lackluster. You know, because we know they can defend well. We know they don't concede easily. But they just don't have any offense. Because it's a case of, like, where are the goals going to come from? You know? They have like a mid-30s Ener Valencia at the tip of their spear. You know? Not really inspiring confidence for attacking flair. Yeah, I'm actually kind of curious to see what Julian Nagelsmann does for that roster. You know, because they're already clinched qualification, but are they gonna rest? Are they gonna rotate? You know, I honestly think Undav will get the start because of that reason. You know, to rest maybe to rest Havertz and stuff like that. How much time do I have? Okay. See, but it's kind of like the catch-22. Like, you get players that are so good as a sub, but when you put them in the starting 11, they're lackluster. I used to think of that when Divock Origi played for Liverpool. You know, because I'm a Liverpool fan. He was so good off the bench, but you know, kind of, you know, maybe not the best way I could say it. Maybe like not like a consistent scorer in a starting role, but extremely effective as a sub. You know, you get some players like that. So that was kind of the reasoning why Undav was left off the starting 11. I haven't, but you know, I'm just going off of hearsay, but for what I've been hearing, that was the reasoning why Undav has not been starting, even though what you're saying is perfectly valid. Like Nagelsmann was thinking, oh, this guy might be better off in that impact sub role, but I think he's proven that might not be the case. Yeah, and that's totally understandable, right? But it's kind of clear that there's something there why starting Undav. And I know there was a lot of discourse about that with regards to Cristiano Ronaldo after the first match for Portugal. You know, everybody was thinking, oh, should he be an impact sub at this time frame? But no. So at this point, you just gotta give it a shot and see what happens. You know. But I think he can do well in the starting role. Yeah, and it's crazy. It's crazy that you mentioned that because I am where I am geographically, like my part of the U.S. There is a huge, I mean huge Ecuadorian population. So for context, not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before, I went to one of the fan hubs, like one of the official FIFA fan hubs, and I was the only non-Ecuadorian that was I was the only non-Ecuadorian that was watching. And it was a sight to behold. I was like, it was really fun. It was really fun. It's clear that there's a clear majority in the interest for certain matches. Like for example, this was the... Like, I was there for the first match. I was there for Germany. I was there for Germany and Curaçao. I was at the arena to watch, and there wasn't that many people, right? It was 1 p.m. on a Sunday, you know, but it got visibly more packed for the second game, right? There was a lot more people to watch Netherlands, Japan, but it got extremely crowded for Ecuador and Ivory Coast. I noticed, we noticed that there was like only 10 Ivorian fans in the entire arena. Yeah, because geographically we have a big Ecuadorian population in our area, so the vast majority came to that match. So, yeah, that's something that we had to understand. Ecuador, Uruguay, yeah. That's also kind of why they put certain games in certain stadiums. Like, for example, the Brazil-Morocco game, that first group stage game, it made sense for a lot of for us in the New York, New Jersey region to get it, because New Jersey, our biggest city, has a huge Brazilian population, Brazilian and Portuguese, right? And my city specifically has a big North African population, so there were quite a lot of Moroccan fans. Shoot. All right, let's get this going. Yeah, I think Uruguay should also be considered part of Fraud Watch, you know? Like, offensively, they haven't been there. Yeah. And to think some of the players that and I'm familiar with some of their players, you know? Some of them play here in America. For example, their right back, Steven Moreira, for Cape Verde, plays in Columbus. Montero, their number 10, used to play like a state away over in Philadelphia. It really goes to show like how... Right. And I just don't see a true match winner amongst that group, you know? There's a lot of question marks that I have. Oh, shoot. I wanted to go into the pits there, but dude just shoved me out. Mm-hmm. Oh, we have a spinner. Alright, how good am I fuel-wise? 4.5. Tires can go a little bit longer. What I can do here. As much as I'm talking about the football, I still got a race to focus on. Oh boy. We're halfway through. I think I can do maybe one more lap. Oh, shoot. Okay, never mind. I got a box now. Alright, let's see here. Paraguay have done pretty well, yeah. I mean, they've done what they can. Let's see, because, oh yeah, Ivan Bartos. See, that guy, so the referee for that match, Ivan Bartos, he's a character. If the best way I could describe like how eccentric he is, you should watch his performance in the Nations League, the CONCACAF Nations League, particularly the one where he refereed U.S. versus Mexico, right? He had to go to a VAR review, right? And the way that he pointed to the penalty after review, mind you, this was before they had to announce, you know, what the decision was. He just did like a definitive. That's how he would like point to the spot after the VAR review. So, and I'm just like, okay, this guy's enjoying his job a little too much, right? Yeah. Of course, it had to be Miguel Almiron out of all people, right? You know, now that he's playing back here again. Of course, he's not the player that he used to be. You know, playing for Atlanta. I think one of my favorite controversies about this World Cup so far has been the yeah, right? Actually, twofold. He's also the first person, so you know how like that, we're calling that the Bresciani rule, you know, covering your mouth will get you sent off. There was another rule. There is another rule that they added for VAR, is that VAR can intervene when there's like mistaken identity. Now, what happened was, yes, for diving, the mistaken identity. Yeah, he's also the first guy to get booked for that. Probably. See, I don't know if those rules are only for FIFA sanctioned competition, or I don't know if that's going to be implemented at the club level too, because I don't know if that's an IFAB rule or a FIFA rule. You know? I'm kind of just, I'm just vibing at this point, you know? Okay. And I also know that because I know they were planning on doing some tests for rules at the Women's World Cup for next year too. So who knows? They might mess with some stuff even more to the game pretty soon. Alright, slowly clawing my way back into this. Alright, what do we got? 11 minutes to go, so maybe 5 laps. Did I decide to pit too early? Oh shoot. Was there contact? Ah, damn it. I got sent on the marbles. The car is not healthy right now. Because if the way this is going, it might make sense for me to pit in a bit and just get a new set of tires and fix this damage. Because I think, yeah. Right. But I think, yeah. Also, I think it was an Italian referee for the opening game between Mexico and South Africa, right? The referee was trying to give his final decision in English, but he kept struggling to speak. And he just he would just cut to a shot of like the South African players. They were just like, they're just staring at the referees, like, what are you saying? You know, that was like an early meme from day one. All right, I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna box this lap. Fix this damage, bring the car home. I have a decent gap. I got like 30 seconds. These softs are not gonna last, so. Let's see what I can do here. In and out. No need to refuel. You have a couple of games that are straight battle for second place. Yeah, because Germany have already, because Germany and the US have already clinched their spots, so nothing really doing for that. See, for Japan, Sweden, I could see Japan winning that one, but very, very close. I think that could be like a 3-2 sort of thing. Paraguay, Australia, without Almiron, they're probably gonna have to play Kaku Romero, which, yeah, he's not. He's definitely a downgrade. I know that. I know his like for like replacement is not gonna do it because he used to play for my club. You know, he used to play for my hometown club, but he was very mid. So. Yeah, I could see. I wouldn't be surprised if Australia ended up winning that one. All right, let's see. 4.5 to go. We should be good at this point onward. I don't... So 13.5 to the next car. I don't think it's gonna be... I don't think I'll be able to catch him. Even with my fresh tires. Stranger things have happened though. Yeah, and at his age, this probably would have been his last World Cup anyway. Wait, no, Paraguay did not qualify for 22. I don't think they went to Qatar. But yeah, it's probably going to be a one and done for him. Even if he is their best export since Roque Santa Cruz and Oscar Cardozo. Those are like the two most notable Paraguayans since before he came about. Yeah. I'm curious to see how Japan deal with Isaac and Gyökeres. But also, Japan are also a little bit short-handed on the defensive side too, right? They lost Wataru Endo in the midfield pretty recently. Oh shoot. Kind of caught me off guard, but he's a back marker, so he's no big deal. Yeah, and yeah, speaking of the flanks, you know, the amount of people Japan are missing on the flanks too, you know. No Minamino, no Bitoma, and who knows how Kubo is gonna feel. Because I know Kubo missed the last game for Japan, and he's also like one of their top top creators. Yeah. Moriyasu has a system in place, so people can just slot in, but you know, it's those individual bits of quality, you know. But I'm glad that Ayase Ueda is finally getting some props, you know. I still remember when he was a youngster playing in Japan for I think it was it for Urawa or for Kashima? But yeah, he was like a bright prospect. Him and Natoma when they were both playing back here, back in Japan. Oh shoot. because you gotta understand that if it's the same, if it's the same Japan that they saw against the Dutch, I wouldn't be surprised if Moriyasu tries to have those guys playing with a lot of whipped balls into the box, you know, despite the perceived mismatch physically. I would not be surprised if he tries to employ those same tactics on set pieces. But also, considering Lindelof is not as mobile as he once was, I wouldn't be surprised if they bring in somebody like a Daisen Maeda to try to, like, play off his shoulder. You know, try to sneak in behind. Alright. Yeah, this one was not as good as the first race, but P10. Still waiting on one person behind me to finish, the Peruvian, and we're still figuring out the rest of the podium. Caesar just finished for P2. Zach and Rafaka still fighting out for third place. Yeah, because they have their midfield. They have their midfield and their front sorted out, but it's those wide areas. Now, Sweden play traditionally with the back four, don't they? I'm curious to see how they line up for that one. Okay. So they're like a 3-4-3. Alright. Phew. What time is it right now? It's 12:10. Yeah, because I always imagine Grand Party using a back four, you know? Yeah, some teams really try to force three at the back, you know? Let's give top it off. Yeah. 3-4-3 has become the new formation du jour, you know? Yeah, more traditional fullbacks. Maybe using more of the overlap, because everybody and their mother has been trying to do a back three now, you know, and it's working for some, but not for everybody. It's kind of like how in the early 2010s everybody was trying to force a 4-2-3-1, you know. Literally everybody did that for a time, so it's kind of like how 3-4-3. And it's funny because what some teams are really starting to do is they're going back to the traditional 4-4-2, you know. Like the US, they used two strikers against Australia, and they were able to get like so much pressure out of that back line. So I think some people are starting to like figure out the back three. You know, the back with the 3-4-3s, 3-5-2s. They're getting them pegged real quick. So yeah, I'm curious to see how they handle that. All right, but it is 12 past midnight. It is time for me to head to bed. I would love to talk more football, but I got work in the morning. So let me see if I can pass everybody. See. It's not... I can understand, yeah, it is kind of risky. It's definitely more risky if you're not natural at it, you know? Because if you're just experimenting with it just to chase the trend, yeah, it's definitely something. But if it's something that, you know, is ingrained, yeah, if you don't have natural greenbacks, yeah, right. So, all right, let's see who we can send you guys off for the night. Shoot, West Coast is not there. Yeah, nobody's live. Nobody that I follow is live. All right. Well, unfortunately, we're gonna have to go without a raid for tonight. So, all right. So Friday we'll be back. We'll do some more racing. Probably gonna switch to Le Mans Ultimate for Friday, and then Saturday we'll come back and do Nations Cup. Alright, but yeah, thank you for coming. Ender, I don't know if you're still around, but thank you for the raid. Thank you for all the follows from earlier tonight. We're close to 420. So, yeah, good night, everybody. See you Friday.